But tomorrow, we're factoring in that possibility of seeing rain as a warm front moves across the area. That's the view here on Long Bayshore Boulevard at Winters and Yonkers, 76 degrees the current temp. Same number at Land Rover and Clearwater at the moment, with a few high clouds here overall. Temperatures will continue to stay mild, but not as warm as last week. Rain chances go up too. Forecast is coming up.
Was a homeowner standing his ground when he shot and killed his neighbor over the weekend.
Pasco County Sheriff Chris Nacco says that will be up to the state attorney to decide. News Channel 8's Jamel Lene is joining us live from County Lake Drive. This is where a dispute turned deadly. Jamel.
It did, and a lot of this played out on Live PD Saturday. Now, the shooter is claiming that his neighbor came into his yard and threatened to kill him, and that's when deputies say he shot him. Brian Colby claims he was standing his ground when he shot and killed his neighbor, Joshua Ellis, on County Lake Drive Saturday night in Port Richey.
I believe that's part of his claim and part of his defense right now.
Mark Ronte heard the gun go off.
I heard a gunshot, and when I looked outside the window, I saw the guy pointing the gun at him. Deputies
tell us it started as a dispute between Ellis and a woman. When Colby went outside to see what was going on, he claims Ellis approached him on his property and threatened to kill him. Investigators say Colby was on the phone with 911 when he pulled the trigger and shot Ellis in the chest. Colby tried to put pressure on the wound.
He was laying on the ground, and he was just, he probably just gave up on trying to get up, so he just laid down there.
Ellis later died at the hospital. Sheriff Chris Nacco said the case is now in the hands of the state attorney.
Those stand your grounds, as everybody knows, are very difficult decisions. The defense of stand your ground, and so we want to make sure that we have our part of the investigation, but we know ultimately it's going to go through the judicial system. So we want to make sure that we're hand in hand with the state attorney's office.
In no word yet when the state attorney will come down with their decision. In Pasco County, Jamel Lene, News Channel 8.
A crazy story in Pasco County. A leaf blower is stolen and a man is shot. Deputies say a man went after the suspect who took the leaf blower this morning. That chase came to an end in a parking lot on Main Street in Newport Richey when the man shot the thief in the leg. The leaf blower suspect is in the hospital. The shooter is in custody.
New tonight, we are hearing that panicked 911 call moments after a plane crashed into a Winter Haven home Saturday. One person was killed, but 7 other people, including children inside the house, survived. And that's remarkable when you see the pictures. News Channel 8's Amanda Shivari joining us live south of Winter Haven Airport. This is where this crash happened. Amanda.
Keith, good evening to you. That plane came down in a bedroom of this home. This evening, you can see people working to patch up that damage. This home now condemned. The flight was a training session simulating engine failure that became all too real.
I've got a plane crash that hit a house.
For almost 9 minutes, you can hear panic and chaos after a plane crashes into this home. Denise Beach lives a few houses down.
I just come and put something in my car, and as I was going to the door, I just heard this loud explosion.
Beach and other neighbors ran to the home with one thought in mind.
The family, like, oh my gosh, what about them?
They quickly learned the 3 kids playing outside were okay, along with 2 people inside. But a 17-year-old girl was trapped under the plane and against a wall.
Oh my God!
We're told this flight was a training session. 64-year-old James Wagner, the flight instructor, died in the crash. The trainee, 33-year-old Timothy Sheehy, survived. Not only that, this former Navy SEAL was able to get out of the plane and help the trapped teen. You can hear him trying to free her as fuel leaks everywhere.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We've got some help on the way, okay? Tell them to hurry up. The lady does not have long. She's hurt real bad.
Sheehy can then be heard asking if he's hurt.
Am I bleeding anywhere? Am I got major bleeding going on anywhere?
Sheehy then is told he is lucky to be alive, and that's when we get a glimpse of what may have caused the plane to go down.
The engine flew right on takeoff.
And this evening, we do know the NTSB and the FAA are still investigating what exactly caused that plane to crash. Live in Winter Haven, Amanda Shivari, News Channel 8.
Thanks, Amanda. Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies posted these photos of a close call between a truck and a bus today. The driver of the pickup and the city bus collided near Hanley Road and Hannah Avenue in Town and Country. This happened during the morning rush hour. No one was seriously hurt.
Tampa is at the center of a lawsuit against President Donald Trump. A former campaign staffer claims she was forcibly kissed by Trump at a rally here in Tampa more than 2 years ago.
Now, the White House is responding to that, calling the accusation absurd, and 2 witnesses in the suit say they never saw a forced kiss. News Channel 8's J.B. Buno joining us live tonight to talk a little bit more about it, and we have a copy of this alleged lawsuit, so what have you figured out?
Yeah, well, it's 39 pages long, so I can tell you that it's a little bit of a long lawsuit, but we've been combing through the details all day in this story. In that lawsuit, 43-year-old Alva Johnson says it was before a campaign rally right here in Tampa that Trump allegedly tried kissing her on the mouth, but it was a little bit awkward. She turned with the kiss landing on the side of her lips. Here's News Channel 8 video from that rally on August 24th, 2016, 2 summers ago, when Trump was running for president. Now, Johnson, who's from Alabama, says it was outside before Trump spoke where the alleged sexual misconduct took place. Now, this is a photo from the lawsuit showing both Johnson and Trump in a crowd outside a campaign RV. Johnson claims as Trump exited an RV, he grabbed her hand and kissed her on the side of the mouth. The lawsuit says 2 witnesses were in that RV, including then Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who tells News Channel 8 Johnson's story is false. The White House weighed in too. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders saying this accusation is absurd on its face. This never happened and is directly contradicted by multiple highly credible eyewitness accounts. Johnson is seeking compensation for what's described as emotional pain and suffering endured by this kiss. As for why she waited so long to come forward, Johnson and her attorney say there was fear that her story would never be believed.
Did I see something about Pam Bondi saying that she didn't see this happening and she was there at this event?
And she was in the RV at the time. And
it almost looks like she's in that picture you're showing right there. I'd have to go back and double check, but it looks like she's in that upper right corner, so she would have been...
She says that she never saw a kiss happen, and had she actually seen it, she would have done something about it as Florida's Attorney General at the time.
All right. Thank you, JB.
Thank you. Singer R. Kelly remains behind bars in Chicago tonight after being indicted last week on sex abuse charges. Kelly pleaded not guilty at his court appearance today. His bail is set at $1 million. The indictment comes less than a month after a new documentary raised disturbing allegations of abuse against young women. One of the stories in the series involved a young woman from Polk County. The parents of Jocelyn Savage claim that she is being held in an abusive cult-like relationship with the singer and that they have not seen her in 4 years.
A retired Sarasota firefighter killed while helping another is being remembered tonight. On Sunday morning, 59-year-old Wesley Washam was hit and killed on I-75 after he stopped to help a drunk driver who had been involved in an accident. Firefighters in Sarasota County are in mourning.
It was an honor to have him represent the Sarasota County Fire Department, and his actions reflect the best the department has to offer.
Washam also spent more than 20 years volunteering with Sarasota Canine Search and Rescue.
There is a new fire station in use in Hillsborough County. Station 32 at East Lake is now the largest in the county. It is home to the hazmat unit as well as other training facilities. Chief Dennis Jones told 8 on Your Side why this new location is so important.
This location is really ideal. It's close to Hillsborough Avenue that goes all the way through the county from east to west. Close to Interstate 4 and 75, so it allows this unit to respond all over the county in a much more rapid fashion. And I trust these.
And Chief Jones says they just hired 42 new fire recruits that are now located in stations across the county.
We are hearing for the first time on camera tonight from Tampa's mayor after his Twitter account was hacked.
Coming up next, why he says he has not and may never see what the culprits did.
Also ahead, does your lawnmower or tractor make the cut, or are you looking for one that does? Avery Cotton looks into how this important equipment is put to the test.
And a live look at downtown Tampa tonight, just across the Hillsborough River. What are the chances for rain tomorrow? You're going to find out when Storm Tomate returns with a full forecast.
It's been nearly 2 months since a garbage truck hit this fence, causing damage, but the company still won't acknowledge their mistake. Well, coming up, I have video that shows the driver hitting the fence multiple times.
We'll have that and more coming up. You're watching News Channel 8, the station that's always on your side. Tonight.
I'm so excited. Welcome to Team Legend.
You're really cute. I think you're cute, John.
You're adorable.
I have clearly been out-cuted.
Then it's the premiere of The Enemy Within.
I want the names of the 4 agents who are following you, or you'll never see your daughter again.
She betrayed her country.
I made a choice to save my daughter.
Now she wants redemption.
You can catch him, but you cannot do it without me.
The premiere of The Enemy Within after the premiere of The Voice, tonight on NBC.
Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale is now extended. For a limited time, save up to 30% or get 0% interest for 6 years with no minimum purchase on new styles for every room in your home. Hurry, sale ends Monday. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
It's home improvement season, and if replacing windows is on your spring to-do list, you'll probably be attending one of the local home shows. Well, BJ Worzen is here today. He's the owner of West Shore Home, and you have some special news for us, BJ. What is that news?
That's right, Joe. I understand people are super busy these days, especially on the weekends, and you're probably not willing to give up a Saturday or Sunday to fight the traffic and the crowds of the home show. So we're going to bring the home show to you, and that means we're going to bring special home show pricing as well as a free in-home design consultation.
That sounds great. Now, tell me about the benefits of that free in-home design consultation.
Well, so what we'll do is walk you through all the different styles and options that are available for your home, but we're also going to show you what's available in the marketplace today, and that includes the hurricane glass up to the most energy efficient windows out there. And don't forget, hurricane season does begin in June, so right now is actually the perfect time to start thinking about this project. The best part is we're going to make sure you make these windows more affordable than ever.
I like it. Okay, so I don't have to do all this research about windows, and when it comes to the affordability now, that's a big point, because I'm thinking home show is going to give me my best pricing. How can you compete with the big box stores and the national brands?
So like I said, we're going to bring the home show pricing to you, and we're going to try to make it really easy to people get these windows done. So it's going to be 20% off the windows, plus 20% off installation, and we're going to couple that with a great financing offer. That's no money down and no interest for 12 months. But I'll tell you what, if anybody picks up the phone right now and calls, I'll go ahead and double that financing offer to 2 full years.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You're saying I can have all my windows replaced, and I can do it with no money down and no interest for 2 full years?
That's right, Joe. It's our best deal of the year.
Wow. BJ, thanks so much, folks. You heard it here. We've never done this before. Call the number on your screen right now. Take advantage of this great special. It's 20% off all windows, plus 20% off installation. And you heard BJ. It's no money down and no interest if you call now for 2 full years. Call right now. Call right now and get 20% off windows, 20% off labor, no money down, and no interest for 2 full years.
Ashley Home Store's President's Day mattress sale is now extended. Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, or get 0% interest for 8 years, starting at just $25 a month. Sale ends Monday, only at Ashley Home Store.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Culpeper Curland. Auto accident? Call Culpeper Curland. Aggressive, tenacious. Culpeper Curland. Eagle 8 HD coverage is brought to you by your Suncoast Hyundai dealers. Visit your local dealer today or shop buyhyundai.com.
Early voting is now underway in Tampa's mayoral and council elections. The mayor's office is up for grabs along with every city council seat. There are 7 candidates vying to fill Mayor Bob Buckhorn's spot, and you can early vote at 7 different polling places from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Early voting runs through March 3rd, and we have a list of the polling places on WFLA.com.
We are hearing for the first time from Mayor Bob Buckhorn about the recent hacking of his Twitter account. The hackers posted vulgar and racist material on his Twitter account last week while he was out of town. He's never seen the tweets.
I was astounded. I mean, I was out hunting, and so I couldn't even see what the tweets were, and I still to this day have never seen them.
Mayor Buckhorn says local and federal authorities are trying to find out who the hackers are so they can face charges, but he admits finding them will be difficult. Well, every week we give you the best results from Consumer Reports. They test products we all use on a daily basis. Dishwashers, bed sheets, you name it.
And Avery Cotton visited one of those testing sites and joined us now where they're actually testing lawnmowers. They're doing that just about every day. For a while, they have a little season they do this, and this is one of the good times to test it in Florida if you're going to test something, right?
Yeah, it's not the best time to really test in their headquarters in New York. So
it's cold and
it's
snowy,
very cold, no grass to mow. So we went down to Fort Myers where they were testing all kinds of mowers. It takes weeks to see which ones make the cut.
We started the process back in November of the previous year.
It's a Saturday chore that has turned into a full-fledged career for these guys. Consumer Reports testers spending weeks in the Florida sun to decide which lawnmowers make the cut. And there are a lot of them.
These are the walk-behind versions. You know, these Honda mowers, so it's, you know, for this particular mower, it doesn't discharge out of the side, it discharges out of the rear.
Is it true? Nothing runs like a deer.
Every year there's new mowers. We spend about $50,000 just buying the mowers.
Testers like John Galtafiore buy them just like you or I would by walking into the store anonymously and making the purchase for every single mower they test. They even plant their own grass.
We use annual ryegrass because that tends to grow up really fast and it gives us a consistent test turf every year.
Once everything is in place, they get mowing.
By the end of testing, we'll have cut almost 10,000 pounds of clippings.
And they measure everything.
Cut pretty even, though.
Yeah, that's a nice mower.
It's still early in their testing, but there's one kind of mower that stands out.
And electric is really the big new thing.
An important part of testing the electric mowers is, of course, to see how long the battery will last. Testers will use this field and mow the lawn as long as they can until the battery is dead. Typically, that could take up to 2 hours. The electric mowers, whether push or ride, will cost you quite a bit more. So is the grass greener on the other side? Once you test them out, you may come to find out that it's worth the expense.
Absolutely. You don't have to worry about, again, all that maintenance, all that oil, all that gas.
At the end of the day, Consumer Reports testers are taking everyday chores to the extreme, so you have the best product to get the job done. There's a lot to look into.
Yes.
Is it a fun job?
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Now, you will have to wait just a little while longer to find out which mowers make the cut. The results should be out next month. It was a fun shoot.
Yeah.
That was a
Cool
really
job
neat thing
for you
to do.
and for them.
Yeah.
You know the answers. You just can't tell us yet. We kind of know who won. You know, we learned something, though, and you said we didn't know they bought all of this stuff. They just go in a store. They're not getting
just like you or I would.
Yeah, not the cream of the crop. They're getting just whatever's average.
That's interesting.
Then what do they do with it when they're done with all that?
You know, I asked them that because I was curious. There were about 50 mowers out there. They auction them off to Consumer Reports employees, so they all kind of get to test out their own mower if they want to.
And get a deal. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
One of the perks of being a consumer
very cool.
report.
You liked the zero turn.
Yes, it was so fun. I was like, I'll do this all day.
I was teasing you. Didn't do the push. You were like
nope.
riding
Give me
on the
that
zero
one.
turn.
Give me that one.
Right.
Smart girl.
Thank you.